Hello everyone, dear Manhwa fans. I hope you're having an amazing day. Before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to those who left comments on the previous video, sending a big hug to all our loyal followers, and a special mention to Baraklimlim4816, who was the first to comment on the last video. Thank you so much. Now, without further delay, let's jump into this exciting summary. The hours pass, and Kang shows no signs of stopping his reading of the Bible. Hurdle wonders how he dares to involve a noble elf. Mockingly, he responds that that is precisely the point. What truly bothered him about this place was that she didn't know her rightful position and had an insolent attitude toward him. That's why he had to teach her a lesson. Hurdle doesn't understand anything. She's simply immobile. Everything will end once he has used the holy water. The young woman asks what he means, but she soon realizes it. She cannot allow anyone to see that her soul is being purified. Kang reaches for a candle while ordering her to be silent. Fear begins to creep over Hurdle as she watches the hot wax drip. She already knows who it's meant for. Kay believes they might come if they hear her crying out in pain. A knight's body is truly fragile, after all. Kay seeks to humiliate her, but Hurdle refuses to yield. She demands that this end, even threatening him with death. She is truly enraged. Her body can withstand the heat of a volcano's core, yet she cannot comprehend why she cannot endure the wax of a mere candle. She knows she has suddenly become unnaturally weak. Kay doesn't believe she is suffering, given that she isn't screaming. He then helps her lie down for a while. Hurdle, realizing her senses have sharpened, suddenly becomes aware that she has completely overlooked Kay's magical power. But he, on the other hand, has no intention of stopping his mass. Determined to commemorate his recent promotion to Knight Commander, he declares that he desires a reward for it. At that moment, Hurdle notices the draconic mark on Kang, making her question whether he truly intends to continue his prayers. The answer is yes. He is determined to move forward, to show her the power of a half-dragon. Despite Hurdle's desperate pleas for mercy, she knows there is no escape. Her soul trembles with fear, and Kang, recognizing it, confirms it out loud. She cannot deny it. She is afraid. Yet strangely, her soul reacts in a way completely different from what she expresses. Somehow, her soul is being more honest than she expected. She cannot resist it. It's as if she is being guided toward the true path of faith. A noble elf, like Hurdle, is being cleansed of all corruption by a mere human. It doesn't make sense. She feels exhausted, humiliated, confused. Yet an undeniable peace settles within her heart. Kang, on the other hand, feels relieved. It is good to release all his stress after so much work. But he is not done. No, not yet. He has yet to receive divine revelation. He wants to keep pushing forward. There is no respite. Kay continues reading the Bible without pause, driven by an overwhelming desire to reach the heavens. Night turns into day as he dedicates hours to purifying the elf's soul. To him, it was an incredible experience. Upon leaving the room, she immediately notices the murmurs among the servants. They had heard noises coming from that very room, fully aware that she was inside. Additionally, she realizes that her scent has changed, overpowered by the strong, unmistakable aroma of incense. There is only one thing she can do now: bathe as soon as possible. The young woman feels humiliated. Kang finishes and abandons her without a care. Now they are companions, and he expects that from now on she will start to accept it. The girl feels degraded, unable to comprehend how a human could make her feel all these new emotions. It can't happen again. Later in the dining hall, in the presence of the queen, she still refuses to train in fencing. Lena tells her that she can't refuse, as she has passed the ceremony in defense mode. The elf complains that the real problem is that he is a half-dragon, and she can't be with someone so unattractive. If she hates that part so much, there's nothing that can be done. The others have already accepted this fact, especially because Kang is happy that his day hasn't been wasted. The queen brings up a topic that seems to make Hurdle uncomfortable. She had already realized that Kiwan was a half-dragon before the queen had told her. The queen can't understand how she figured it out, but the young woman avoids talking about it and leaves to patrol, leaving everyone confused. However, Kang feels good about last night. As for his companion, she doesn't hesitate to point out that since his arrival, Hurdle has been acting strangely. Changing the topic, they return to fencing. Kang still can't understand why he needs to learn it. The queen had previously told him that being a commander would only be symbolic, but she soon explains that she doesn't think it would hurt to learn. Since ancient times, Sultan has made exchanges with the neighboring human kingdom of water, also known as Altere Skyle. The ruler of that kingdom is uncertain. He recently changed due to a democracy. Kang interrupts her story because he still doesn't understand why he must learn fencing. The queen continues, explaining that the exchange is actually a combat between the representatives of each kingdom. This last part surprises Kang, so the queen adds that she always had Hurdle do it, but now, with rumors of a new half-dragon, she signed Kang up instead. However, for both of them, Kang only knows the basics of martial arts. To make matters worse, whoever loses that battle would die with honor, so Kang must learn from Hurdle, the only one who can make him strong in such a short time. In a rush, Kang goes in search of her. She's still in the hallways. Kang, feeling a bit embarrassed, asks for her help and asks her to reconsider. She, surprised, asks if he really wants to learn. Kang knows she hates him because of what happened, but he doesn't lose hope of convincing her. He explains that he has heard about the exchange and can't just sit still knowing what's at stake. He knows that if he doesn't play his cards right, his neck is on the line. Finally, Hurdle agrees. Even though an outsider feels grateful to Sultan and wants to train, it seems honorable. Since he's going to fight for the kingdom's honor, she can't refuse. Kang is extremely surprised by this answer, so much so that Hurdle even questions if he was serious. The young man wonders if it would be different for someone who is a half-dragon. She makes it clear, a knight is someone who sheds blood, sweat, and tears for the kingdom. From her perspective, he's still an outsider, and it would be disgraceful to give him the title of knight. However, she wouldn't mind him dying in that exchange. She will take care of his honor so he can die in peace. Hurdle is surprised when she notices that Kang has taken a peach. She is intrigued, but he tells her it's his way of showing gratitude. She complains that she can't take her hands off the fruit, while Hurdle begins to feel pain in her soul. Kang asks her to continue telling him about the honor of knights. She can't believe this guy is mocking her again. Where's his magic? She worries that someone might see them. Kang reassures her not to worry. He's in a hurry too, and just wants her to make him stronger in a short time. The young elf asks her magic to protect her, although she feels that this time is different from the last. She feels strange, and it seems that the guards haven't noticed any voices. She hopes it will all end soon, while he continues using a jutsu he learned in his past life. Inside, he hopes she stays quiet so they can make progress. She can't stop trembling. Although she asks for a break, he doesn't seem to be listening. He's also desperate because he needs to convince her. Perplexed, she can't believe she has to convince him. She doesn't even know why. All she can see is that they are in the middle of the palace hallway, in broad daylight. Kang shows her that he got a bit dirty from eating the peach and blames her for the mess, suggesting that she clean herself with her clothes. Hurdle is too weak to push him away. He wonders if she really wants him to leave. He can't help but notice how cute she looks while he's looking at a picture of a puppy. At that moment, Kang pulls out the Bible and tells Hurdle to stay quiet. She asks him not to do this and to just continue with his jutsu. He doesn't seem to agree, as he wants to read for a while in that spot, which greatly impacts Hurdle, because they could be caught. The guards hear noises coming from the hallway, but see nothing when they turn toward the source. Kang has no intention of stopping his preparations for the small mass. Therefore, he shows her a yoga move so she can see from above. Seeing the people training, Hurdle panics, fearing they might discover them, and asks him to stop with his plans. In response, Kang asks if she's embarrassed. Of course she is. He tells her to look ahead. Those people are there to watch her pray amid the chaos. A drop of water falls onto the helmet of one of the guards, who, puzzled, wonders if it's going to rain, unaware of the true nature of what's happening. When they look up, the guards notice someone higher up. Kang has no intention of stopping his Bible reading until she agrees to train with him. The guards soon recognize the figure. It's the leader of the knights. Confused, they wonder what's going on up there. Hurdle tries to keep her composure and hide the fact that Kang hasn't been noticed in his prayers. With a tense smile, she explains that she went out for a walk to clear her mind, but is interrupted by Kang's prayers. He refuses to stop the mass, telling her that she must accept training if she doesn't want the situation to become more complicated. Hurdle blames him for causing this scene, but Kang, far from backing down, pleads for her help. Eventually, amidst praises, she agrees to his request and will train him. However, Kang wants to purify the corrupt soul of her heart, even though for Hurdle, it isn't necessary. He continues, breaking her pride with his stubborn determination. When Kang finally goes for the holy water to release her soul, he tells her that it's a promise kept, assuring her that it won't need to be repeated. At that moment, a woman from the service notices both of them. After the communion ends, they try to hide the situation, but a drop of the tor falls to the floor, attracting the maid's attention. They quickly attempt to justify the situation by saying a drink spilled. The woman nods and assures them she'll clean the mess right away. Meanwhile, Hurdle, filled with indignation, murmurs to herself that she will never forgive him. As the service staff hurriedly cleans up, they can't help but comment on the rumors that have been circulating recently, rumors involving both of them. One of the women mentions she saw them together, but admits that she still finds it hard to believe the gossip is true. In the middle of the conversation, another one of the women pauses for a moment, intrigued, and points out something strange in what they're cleaning. However, as she gets closer, her expression changes. She detects a peculiar scent and quickly identifies it. It smells like a half-dragon. Elsewhere in the palace, Kang meets with the queen to inform her that Hurdle will teach him how to use the sword. The queen, visibly surprised, can't understand how he managed to get her to agree. He simply mentions that it happened, avoiding revealing the real reasons. As he reflects, Kang feels that something has changed. He experiences a growing desire for the religion and an increasing inability to control himself when something excites him. He finds it strange how certain places and situations affect him deeply, as if something is pushing him beyond his will. The queen watches him carefully and explains that this behavior is a sign of the draconic power flowing through his body. She reassures him that it's normal and that he'll eventually get used to it. However, Kang can't help but wonder if these changes are a product of his own nature, or if the dragon's power is transforming him into someone completely different. The truth is, he won't know until he gets used to it. The queen approaches him more closely, wanting to imitate the ritual. Though it might be complicated, she believes she can do it and shows him. Kang is in shock. She's too close. The young woman doesn't hesitate, beginning to hold the chalice that she had brought with her. Kang mentions that they must be very close. He stiffens and starts to sweat, even though he tries to stop it. She continues holding the chalice, making him even more nervous. The queen blushes, and her halo starts turning red, asking him to look straight ahead. Our protagonist is confused by what's happening, and he asks the queen to wait, despite her being visibly embarrassed. Kang doesn't know what's going on. He can't understand it. She merely apologizes for not stopping, as she didn't realize it. Kang then asks the young queen if she is okay, or what the red glow in her halo was. She begins explaining that the royal family of Sultan and the holy lineage have been able to communicate with dragons since ancient times. It could be said to be an exchange of emotions, although for now, it's just a story found in history books and fairy tales. As she gets closer, the queen continues, explaining that their ancestors interacted with dragons through physical contact. Therefore, her blushing is proof that, as a saint, she communicated with a dragon, sharing emotions with it. And Kiwan, in some way, makes her heart beat as if covering a strong desire for religion, or maybe just a feeling of surprise. However, they say it's about sharing emotions, and contact is the best way. Kang remains surprised, trying to process what she's telling him. When the queen regains her composure, she starts questioning what might have happened, only to realize that much of the dragon's energy has gone into Kang's chalice. She blames the dragon for this, stating that it's still in the domain of Dizzy, but Kang insists that it has nothing to do with him. Soon the conversation changes when he notices a pile of old books stacked up. He asks what they are. It turns out they are records and descriptions of the dragons that have appeared so far. For some reason, everything about dragons has been lost in history, but the idea of them as omnipotent, almost divine beings remains in Sultan. The people here worship the dragons and are fortunate to live close to their leader. According to the records, the dragon has the power to resist any magical force. Therefore, they would like to document their own records about it. At that moment, Kang's mind travels back to his first night with Hurdle. Now he understands how he was able to bypass her shield. The queen then calls for Realel, the palace servant. Realel arrives almost instantly, surprising Kang with her speed, decisiveness, and quickness. She immediately catches his attention with a slight bow, stating that being available at all times is her duty, adding with a smile that she knows everything happening in the palace, especially concerning him. The queen furrows her brow, puzzled by her comment, asking, "What are you talking about?" without understanding the implications of the servant's words. In her room, Kang flips through one of the old books he had found. Though he doesn't understand the language it's written in, he can't take his eyes off it. The words seem to resonate in his mind in a strange way, as if they were directly connected to his thoughts. The sensation is bewildering, and he can't help but wonder if this is how all things feel since he began changing. Suddenly, he senses a presence behind him. It's Realel, silently observing him with the same calm and precision she always displays. She seemed to know what he was thinking, which left him feeling both uncomfortable and curious. Without explanation, Realel moves around the room with a familiarity that disorients him. She had arrived on orders to observe him and ensure that everything concerning him as a half-dragon was under control. Her demeanor exudes quiet confidence, as if it was completely natural for her to be there. Finally, as Kang sets the book aside, Realel positions herself beside him and guides him out of the room. As they walk together down the castle hallways, she walks a step ahead, as if she knows exactly where they're headed, while he can't shake the feeling that he is being evaluated at every moment. She followed him to the library, where she recommended a few books. She would bring him towels, even turning off the lights while wishing him good night. It was truly baffling, but the worst was yet to come. After wishing him good night, Realel, now in her pajamas, decided to get into Kang's bed without any prior notice. He couldn't believe it. The situation seemed completely absurd, but Realel, with the same calm demeanor as always, insisted that her assistance had to continue, even while he slept. Kang, feeling uncomfortable, firmly refused, considering the request too strange. However, Realel didn't seem willing to leave. She was simply following orders. She also pointed out that he couldn't rely on Miss Hurdle returning soon, and that he shouldn't take things too lightly. With a calm but firm voice, she reminded him that she had keen senses, both hearing and smell. She knew what was happening around her, whether he was aware of it or not, and she even knew what had occurred between Hurdle and Kiwan. Kang tried to downplay the comment, saying it was inevitable under the circumstances, but Realel wasn't easily fooled. She could sense the aroma of a man from a distance, guiding him on the path of God, so much so that she wanted to help him at that very moment.